Hey, Rebel.
Hey, Sage. We have got
Oh,
an awesome guest with us today, Sage.
who do we
We
got?
have the one and only very cool chill guy, Gabriel Goulding. How are you today, Gabe?
Welcome to the
What's going
show,
on,
Gabriel.
everybody? Hey. I am doing well. I just took a shower for you guys, so I figured maybe you can smell it through the camera, but I'm doing good.
Yeah,
How you guys
smells
doing?
like herbal essences.
I
I keep
I'm
those
just
secrets,
kidding.
take them to my grave. How you guys doing?
Doing
Doing
well.
all right. Very well, thank you.
So,
I like it.
so what's going on with you?
Oh,
Oh, go ahead,
Well,
Sage.
well, you
I
already
love this.
finished your question. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Answer the
this
ladies.
is how we're going to be the whole time.
Yeah, probably.
What's going on?
Not
So,
much.
we understand that you're a photographer, and you do the van life thing.
I'm
I
trying.
guess I don't know, is that am I behind the times to call it that, or is it called something else yet?
I'm a retro guy. I'll keep calling it that.
Right on.
Make
Right
it
on.
easy.
Now I've seen that before. I have a friend back home who put together a van and just kind of took his dogs to as many interesting places in the country as he could. Strangely enough, he's also a photographer. That didn't really anyway. So what?
We're all looking for a purpose.
Well, that answers the question I was having trouble spitting out. I mean, what possessed you? I mean,
I've been living in Ohio since about early 94, 95. And I've always just been a fan of, the world itself, the mountainscapes and wide open spaces and things like that. But when you live in Ohio, it's basically just flat land. We've got our parks and we've got some caves and we've got some little variations of things that we can trek to. So I sought out Boy Scouts when I was a lot younger, and I think that kind of opened up my fervid appetite for adventuring and just playing with fire and hiking and spelunking and just doing stuff that like my friends didn't seem to be doing, but everybody wanted something more. And as I got older, I've had warehouse jobs and normal jobs and everything, and I've just always got like a feeling of discontentment. Like I'm just bored. I get things relatively quickly, and I need something more. And ended up just doing some photo gigs for people on the side. I was just kind of had a camera. I didn't really know anything about it, but I always had to drive somewhere, and I was like, why don't I just do this as a living? And I have an old van that I got for super cheap, and I don't know if it's the Boy Scout in me that doesn't need much to survive, but I'm really content with cruising around in that van with my dog and my lady when she's open to it, and we don't need much, and we cook on a burner, and we eat relatively cleanish, and it doesn't need to be bougie. It's enough for us, and we have time. So,
nice.
If this last year has shown me anything, it's that it was just time to reevaluate what I was doing and how I was living. And it turns out I don't need much to be very happy, so I like to live that way.
Awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the model for a better adjusted society. I think you look like a happy camper. No pun intended.
I'm relatively good spirits most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
There's too much negativity out there, so I'm trying to put something a little brighter.
True story.
So how many of the 50 states have you been to thus far?
I'd probably say like 10. I honestly just got into like van life traveling and being able to have that opportunity like over the last year and a half, like 2 years max, really. So California, Arizona, a little bit. Where's Vegas? Vegas is in Nevada. Nevada.
Whatever.
Oklahoma.
I guess I'm a little bougie.
Yeah. I'm a farm kid from Ohio, so I probably got about 10, maybe 15 states, but
nice.
Nothing like I passed through. I didn't explore them, but now it's exploration time.
Yeah, spring and summer.
I'm so excited. like as soon as it gets sunny out, I just wake up like a different person. And like I clean my car, I eat good, going for walks. I just need atmosphere, and sunshine is like a big proponent. And this
For sure.
dog down here loves it. So
Yeah. I think sunshine's crucial.
scientifically and emotionally and whatever, it probably does a lot. Give it credit for it.
Probably, yeah. So photography, what got you into that? Are you just, I mean, were you just like, I can do this, I can figure it out? Or were you like, people take cool pictures, I'll do this?
Primarily, I didn't even touch it until I went to college. I kind of had to do one of, a portrait, sculpture, painting, just kind of cover the basics. And it was always like the bougie, cool, trendy, like, the Andy Warhol, like you don't get it kind of kids. We're doing photography. Like, I mean, I don't know. It looks pretty easy, but I didn't really understand it. I just had to take a course, and I shot a couple sunsets, and I was just immediately like, I can freeze a good moment in time. That's pretty cool, and it just kind of was always around. Sometimes I, take some time off for it, and I was doing other things, and it wasn't that prevalent in my life. But I was playing in like rock bands and just, having a good time. And we always had a photographer, and there was always somebody at a show shooting it. And I remember when I would get a photo of me doing my thing, and I was like, I feel like a celebrity, like a rock. I just felt bigger than myself. And I wanted to kind of do that as a way to make money while we were playing shows. And everybody's already there, so why not take advantage of it? And then I just did that for a couple years, probably about 5 years. And I just saw like this glow in people's eyes when they got to see themselves performing, doing their thing. And I was just like, I'm not doing anything technically that difficult if you understand the tool, but I love how it makes people feel, usually people that had like confidence issues or, any sort of trauma and history and things. It just like, it made them feel bigger than they ever thought of themselves. And I was like, I like doing that. I could do it more. And then it just kind of come take pictures of my kids, come do a family reunion. Hey, do you do weddings? And I was like, just kind of trickled into all the avenues.
Nice. So, not to get off track, but what instrument do you play, or do you play many?
I am a quick learner of instruments, but my focus is guitar and singing. And I'll do a little bit of piano, dabbling every now and then when I want to be cool and artsy, emotional. But it's on the back burner right now. I got some acoustics hanging up here, and I'll do a couple little melodies every now and then. It's on the back burner, but it's still up here. I'll see people play, and I'm like, I'm better than her. I could probably do that. But, I always tell my friends who like remember me performing when I, in my 20s, which was a couple years ago. I'm a baby still, I guess. Yes. I'm like, I'll come back like the Black Keys. When I'm in my mid 40s, we'll just like bring a new age of like the White Stripes, and we'll bring back rock and roll. But I gotta wait. It's too soon. The world's not ready. So.
No, not quite. I'm actually thinking of bringing back ska single-handedly, so we'll see what happens.
You need a photographer? Let me know.
I will, for sure.
Yes.
This is what happens when I clean my hair.
Get those loose ones.
Just drips. I'm gonna be sweat covered by the end of this.
Yeah, so I used to cut my own, and then I messed it up, so I had to take the clippers to my own head.
I think it looks good.
It looks good on the page.
Thank you.
I think everybody has like a hairstyle that's just naturally them. You pull off probably multiple types. I've tried probably every hairstyle short of dreadlocks, which I might one day. Who knows? We'll see how this van life thing.
That would go with the van life thing.
Right, yeah.
But it's got to be done right, because there's a fine line for van life where it's like artsy, independent, gypsy. Meets homeless bum who can responsibility, and I want to live right on the edge.
Yeah, not quite dirty van guy.
No, I don't want to. It's not really something you want to like introduce to like your friends or your parents, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Be
but I'm
like,
gonna, I'll
this.
nail it. I'll get
That's funny.
That's great. Yeah, I think I've had a lot of different hairstyles over the years myself.
it.
Straight
Form of
hair,
expression.
curly
That's where
hair.
we keep. That's where we keep our superpowers, as my Native American ancestry might say. You're gonna see me when I'm like 85, just big old braids, just tied at knots, and I'm just gonna sit there in my shawl and just be quiet.
There you go.
That
And
will
when you
be.
do speak, you'll be telling the future, like, but only about a week or so later.
That's right. I'm destined to say like one sentence a year, and people will just be like, "Shh, shh, Gabe's speaking." He's communicating grunts, you know.
I love it.
You know, it sounds like a fun lifestyle. So why not?
Mhm.
I am gonna put this up. Get a little toasty. Perfecter of the man bun. Give me a second. Um,
So, where are you off to next?
I'm actually heading to Colorado in 4 days. We're gonna hang out there for a week.
Cool.
Got some blues musician friends from Ohio that moved out there that want some promo work. So I figured I'd go help them create some content, get some
Cool.
promos, and then maybe get lost in the mountains for a day or two and get a cool, sunrise, sunset shot, some landscapes. Try to get something more in that market, and just maybe I can do some prints of them down the road or something.
Yeah.
I've never been out there, so I think it'd be really cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere you've
from what
never
I see
been,
online, glorious.
Yeah, I don't know if I've actually been to Colorado.
We're going to a
I've
little
been
place called Sphinx Park,
Cool.
which
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What was it called again?
Sphinx Park.
Sphinx Park.
oh,
And
I
I
guess
like
I didn't hear that.
Egyptian history, so that's kind of cool.
Cool.
Yeah. And you got
So,
Cleveland, you got Sphinx Park. So
so many choices.
right, let's see what happens.
Oh, the park
Yeah.
sounds more interesting.
It looks glorious, like a little hometown, small cottage village, woods, mountains, rivers. It's everything I need. If I don't come back, you probably won't be surprised. So
We'll be like, he got lost.
We knew he
Or
was
out of
going.
town. That's right.
But they kept him.
They wouldn't let me leave.
No, they're like, this
That sounds
dude
like
is a cool dude. We're going to keep him.
It sounds
We'll
like
do
some
another
people of the
podcast
hills.
about that. It would probably.
As long as it's not the hills have eyes.
Yeah, I hope not. There's interesting characters everywhere, so I have good
True.
luck in finding them. I definitely have some interesting stories from characters that I've found on my travels, just staying in parks, and it's educational to say the least.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It teaches you a lot about yourself. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think
I've
it would
learned where my
quickly.
boundaries are.
What was that?
I have learned where my boundaries are.
Oh, yeah. I think, yeah, I'd probably, they'd probably keep you, Gabe, and they'd be like, oh, Rebel, no, please go home. You do not fit in here.
Depends on the day, I guess. Or the
Yeah,
park.
probably. They'd be like, okay, city girl.
Yeah, I'm a slicker too, but I'll bear it for as long as I can and not complain.
I've always wanted to live in the city. It's like that alien kind of environment compared to like a rural kind of suburbia where I've been from. And just like the hustle and bustle of and the noise and the energy of it.
Oh, it's definitely a shift up. I mean, that's one of the things that I've noticed in my travels and the different places that I've lived or just spent time in. The further you get away from the metropolis, it's almost like the pace slows down. You know, you can take deeper breaths, and going from A to B, it doesn't really matter how long it takes. Where that it loses that kind of, right now moment, kind of fades away. That's what I like about Tennessee. It's still kind of city because of where I live, but compared to where I'm from, laid back, really laid back.
I always enjoyed Nashville when I was out there. Are you in Nashville?
Just
South
outside.
of, right? Yeah, just outside.
I've always enjoyed it. It kind of felt like, I don't want to say rural too many times, but it had that kind of hometown feel, but it was still kind of alive and busy, and it gave me the opportunity to speed up when I wanted to.
Right. Yeah. No, I dig it out. I really do.
And Sage, where are you out of?
What's that?
So where's Rebel out of? You're in Georgia?
No, I'm in Tennessee as well. I'm not in Franklin, though. I'm in Murfreesboro.
In Franklin, here in Ohio.
Oh, is your Franklin bougie like my Franklin?
No.
No, okay.
I'm probably the bougiest place is right here in the studio. Don't let them hear me say that, though. You might have to edit that part out.
No way. You couldn't being on our show. You couldn't possibly be bougie. Trust us.
No, I don't think we've had any bougie people. No. Jorge? Is Jorge bougie? I really hope he watches this. Sage.
No, he's not.
Everybody's got a little bit of bougie in them.
True.
I do.
Yeah.
What's your bougie thing? Like, what's your self-pampered, like, you'll raise your nose kind of?
If people have dirty shoes, that I'm really stuck up about that.
Ugh.
Yes.
Really?
It bothers me. I'm like, how do you not take care of your shoes?
Right. I'll do it.
What's yours, Sage?
I don't know. Cleaning my shoes.
All right, if I ever meet you guys in person, my shoes are going to be feeling clean the morning of.
Spit shine those babies. Get them all shiny.
I think first impressions are a very big deal. People should put more effort into it.
We've gotten lazy as a whole in society. Everything, it's cool to be casual everywhere you go. And that's, I don't know, I guess that's another little bougie aspect of me. But like, people just don't dress up anymore. And I miss that. I mean, I'd like to dress up. So I was like, yes, we're going to start doing video on the podcast, and I'm going to wear whatever I want to wear.
I did have a nicer shirt on the last time we did content. No offense, Gabe.
None taken.
I think your shirt looks exactly perfect for this moment.
Oh, good.
Exactly perfect.
I like being comfortable, but it's nice to know that they'll put in the effort if they can.
Right.
Throw it all away and wear the pajama pants out to the Bob Evans they're eating breakfast at. It's like, come on.
Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Self-care a little bit. It will do such good for you.
I trimmed my hair actually today. I did trim my hair today, so
I thought it looked different.
Yeah.
Baby, we're getting there.
Baby steps.
I was trying to make my head more pointy. So if I sit still long enough, someone will grab me like a javelin and throw me.
Next time I see you, I've got that on my agenda now.
All right.
We'll make that happen. Not very well. Be sure you have a helmet on when I get there.
Okay, well, as usual.
Get ready.
Hey, Gabe. So, now, have you ever? I mean, and probably, of course, I'm basically digging for any kind of fun story, that's out of the norm. Have you ever just been out, doing your thing, taking a picture, and something comes into the lens, and it's like unexpected? Like you ever capture some kind of odd, crazy moments?
I probably have. I do have I have a better memory of driving by what I call photo moments and not having my camera on me. But like,
Just
Me
as
too.
yeah, I drove by. It was like, I don't wake up early. I'm on the 8 a.m. train now. I'm getting out of the 2020 season I was in, but I don't have a reason to wake up early because I schedule my stuff in the afternoon for the most part. Better lighting. So I don't remember what sunrises look like, the golden hour. And I had to be somewhere, and I was like 7 a.m. Sunrise is just coming up. You're just like driving in a haze, just kind of waking up. I swear I saw like a baby deer, little Bambi, little white speckles and all that. And it was like there's cars parked, and you just notice everything in slow motion, right? And there's cars looking at it, and then it's like my eyes zoomed out, and I saw like the mama of the baby looking up, and they were like nose to nose with the sunrise coming up behind. It was glorious. And I just drove by
Nice.
screaming because I was like, I could have made a calendar out of that, I have
Very nice.
a bunch of those kind of moments. My dog, I think, is incredibly photogenic when I force him to be. And every time I want a picture or I'm working with somebody, because he always adventures around, he'll walk right through or just start smelling the camera lens. And he loves to interrupt a good moment that way. I have a really good timing for catching people and things like mid-sentence. So they're always making that like
That weird
face.
mouth open thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
I haven't caught any comets or aliens or,
No Bigfoot.
trip. I have a couple weddings where like people are throwing the bouquet up and I get them like in the air, like not intentionally sports mode, but like, the gross faces and somebody tripped. I've got a couple random gems like that, but not that one, to make or break my career shot yet. It'll happen. It'll probably happen.
It happened. Hey, just like motorcycle riders, everybody drops it.
Oh, that makes me sad, but I think that's true.
Yeah, you're gonna capture that one moment. For all you know, you've already captured it, and it's in your it's in the back files or in that file. Yeah.
I have a lingering understanding that the universe wants me to experience life more than capture it sometimes, because I feel like I set up and I wait, and I always am like so enamored by what's going on, and then I forget, and I'm like, oh god, I'm supposed to take a picture of this.
Right.
I've gotten better at it, but there's always like the artist mind, like the perfect setup, and I always am just a little behind it.
Well, that reminds me. I was walking early in the morning. I live close to where I work, so I'll walk. And it was just dusk, so it's just barely coming light. And mind you, where I live is a little more suburban, so there's strip malls and stuff like that. But it's Tennessee, and you know how they do. It's just trees and everything, and then they tuck a strip mall behind a tree line.
Right.
So I'm walking.
That's true.
And I see this buck, and they have the horns and everything. Beautiful animal, beautiful. And it's just kind of going by. It's about to cross the street, and walking the other way, I see another guy with his phone. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I should try and take a picture. I'm like, oh no, you know what? That guy will get it. I'm just gonna watch. And so the guy didn't even notice me or the deer. He was just going for it on his phone, whatever the heck he was doing. By the time he looked up, I'd already watched the thing make eye contact with me, cross the road, and then go off into the tree line. And I was totally amazed. And as I looked at this guy, and I couldn't help but thinking, I didn't take out my camera and take a picture because I thought you might have. I thought somebody would have caught it. I'm gonna keep it here now. Thanks, guy. Hey, thanks.
Some things are just not supposed to be captured, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe we're
wild walking through my suburban city.
Hey man, the magic's everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
True.
We got angry like geese and hawks over here that will just sit in the middle of a road. I drove up one with my car and it was eating something, and I came up on it and it just turned and looked at me and raised its wings up, like, "What's up?"
Like
Go
you were
around.
in the way.
And he didn't even move. I had to drive around him.
Nice.
Geese get on my nerves. They are very entitled animals. Like,
Well,
take your attitude somewhere else.
I can only imagine where they get it from. So maybe that's why
Yeah.
Canada's so sweet. All the geese
Yeah.
took all the entitlement and the anger with them. Who knows? Brought it down here.
Well, I mean, you can hardly blame them, though. They do fly.
I would love to fly. Can
Right?
you imagine what it'd be like to be up there? Oh,
That would be cool.
if only. Bucket list to just
Bucket
cruise.
Right.
Get on those wings and jump off a perfectly good mountain.
You know,
Stranger
part of
things
me-
have happened.
I would do it probably. I've been told that I'm a jump off the cliff and learn to fly on the way down kind of guy. I just don't do it literally.
Right.
Yeah. But you've seen those videos of people like with those suits just cruising?
Yeah,
through?
yeah.
Oh my
Flying
goodness.
squirrel suit.
That's terrifying.
I
How
think
alive.
there's
So alive.
right. Yeah. Adrenaline
True.
shooting out of every orifice.
What a way to live. What a way to
Oh
live.
gosh.
Yes.
So yeah, that would be crazy.
I haven't done anything that extreme. I jumped off like my first like 20-foot rock down in Kentucky this year. That was a bit, woo, you know. I travel and I see stuff, but I'm not like, I don't know. I hope to get lost in the mountains and see some magical moments, you know, and like do something extreme. I watch all those shows and it looks super fun. And then I think about how I live and I was like, man, I ordered pizza today. I didn't even leave my studio. Like, am I really bougie or do I not live at all?
Right. Am I the guy that's going to be able to cut off his own leg that got caught in a bear trap and make it down the mountain, or not?
I can answer that about myself. No,
I'm not. I know I'm not.
I'm done. If that happens,
Just take me.
bury me later.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
god.
how I live.
So
How long have you guys been doing this podcast?
How long have we been doing this?
well, the first one posted on Cinco de Mayo last year.
That's
But-
correct.
Yes, but Sage came up with the idea in March of last year.
All right.
So
It was,
were chatting on-
we were talking, and I said, "Hey, this is really entertaining. We should have a podcast." 2 weeks later, she calls me and says, "Okay, so I've got this computer thing and some microphones. What do we do now?" I said, "Oh, I guess we're just going to talk."
It's a lot easier
Well-
than being by yourself doing it.
True.
yeah, that's true. So
Besides, you run the risk of being with someone who only wants to tell you what you want to hear.
I promise you guys right now, I'm not catering to you guys at all.
Good.
I think. I promise.
Jeez.
Sage
much
would be
work.
terribly disappointed if you did that.
Yeah.
This isn't even real. This whole thing, it's all fake. Once we get off here, I take the beard off and the hair off. And it's all. Oh well.
Come on. Hey, I used to work in
No.
Hollywood. That's possible.
All green screen. All fabricated.
Oh, yeah. My background is.
It looks good though. It looks legit.
Nice.
I like it. I just
I
put
was
this
really
back up.
happy when I figured it out.
I'm not a technical person. I'm like a DIY, create, handyman. I like to,
There you
I want to be
go.
a lumberjack. That's about it. And take some photos. You know,
Right.
that's enough for
That's-
me.
I didn't think I was very technical until we started doing this. And it turns out I can figure stuff out pretty darn well.
It's a
Well,
real good thing she can, because we wouldn't be here otherwise.
I'll definitely send you guys some questions when I need my help. I know I'm gonna.
Yeah. Well, you have my number. Just text me. I'll try to help you out.
Definitely.
But yeah. Yep.
Do you guys do
So
any in-person interviews?
we did,
We
So
we
uh,
started with some,
but
but they well, one, it was a little. I thought it was a little weird because our studio wasn't quite right set up for it. And then the pandemic hit and nobody was going anywhere.
right.
So
right.
we've done easily what, 2/3 of last year's shows
Remotely, yeah.
remotely. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a few people, and the setup is different in person versus this way.
Right.
And so it's like a totally different set of equipment that goes with having people in studio. Like, even when Sage is able and willing to come back to the studio, that's going to change it up. Like,
Yeah.
I'll have to rework the setup, like with the equipment and stuff,
Right.
which isn't a big deal. It
Reconfigure
just takes time. What's that?
reconfigure the hardware.
Yeah, basically. And I tried to work on that a little bit today. Like, even just like, I don't usually have the headphones on, Gabe. And even having these on to do this today has required other tweaking. Yeah. Like with plugs and all that. And I was like, I just need to get it to work now.
You think you
So-
could just YouTube a simple plug-in solution? No, that's
No.
too specific. You can't find
No, because it's specific to the headphones or to the interface or to the app. And it just doesn't, it's not easy. It's never easy. It should just all be plug and play easy, but it's not.
Oh well.
So,
What
yeah.
they say, friends say is like, well, if you can't find it online, it's because you haven't made that video yet.
Right. For sure.
I don't want all this responsibility.
Yeah.
We're actually, as far as Rebel Sage Perspectives is concerned, as far as the podcast is concerned, we're kind of like right there with you. We've only just gotten out there, and it's so far so good. It's fun. We still like doing it.
I like it. She said you guys were in like 10 different countries, including France.
France,
Yes. Oh, Sage, I forgot to tell you.
No, tell me what?
We have now got 35 listeners in, guess where?
Clichy, France.
Clichy. Our dear friends in Clichy are still listening.
You know what this means, right?
What's that?
You guys have to go there and do a show.
I agree. Sage has been saying that.
I agree, yes. Yeah. Good, for sure.
Yeah.
You let me know, and I will document the whole thing for you guys.
Nice.
There you go. We'll get it all covered. Totally. I feel like we need to do a meet and greet. Like, I want to have the money to plan a trip and just go sit at a cafe and let our listeners know when we're going to be there.
I bet
so they can come meet us. Just come meet us. We're hanging out at this cafe.
We would meet everybody in the town.
Yeah, essentially. But I'm cool with that.
I mean, it's a small town, right?
Yeah, it's tiny.
It can't be more than like 60, 70 people. We're about halfway there.
You'll be honorary board members by the time you're done.
Yes, life goals.
Key to Clichy, France.
Yes, there you go.
Start boning up on your French.
Man,
right.
I'm just going to get my cheese and wine knowledge down and not even sweat it.
That's true.
Yeah, wing it. Why not? It works better.
Well, that's what we've been doing so far, and it does work for us.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how I live my life, and I seem to do way better that way than trying to plan it out.
Yeah. too much stress and trying to plan it and stick with it.
Well,
Who am I
somebody,
kidding? No, that's totally me to plan it out.
you're the planner type.
She would actually stress more if she didn't plan.
I like to plan an outline, and then I can come and go in between the outline.
Right.
Right.
I'm
feel like-
working my way to that.
I'm lucky I tell the right people, hey, what about this? And then they just do it.
Well, if we ever do a seminar, me and Sage will set it up and, help people learn how to live spontaneously.
Right.
There we go.
A few ways to
There
get
we
things
go.
done or not, or let things happen, or I don't know, however you feel today. It's kind of a long title.
It's about your own. Hey, people like long titles. I like long titles. Makes you think.
Right.
It's true. It's very
That's what we
true.
want. It's what we want.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I just like to have a plan. I can't help it.
Hey, security. I come from like the military background from my dad and everybody, so I think
Yeah.
seeing always having everything so outlined and then things not working,
Yeah.
I don't want to be disappointed because then it hurts emotionally, right? So if I can expect, hey, it could work out, it could not work out. Here's what happens if I do it right. Here's how it goes if I don't. Then you're not as surprised, number one, so it doesn't hurt as bad. So I might not be as disappointed. And
Yeah.
half the time, the outcome that you expect is way worse than how it actually is.
Yeah. That's very true.
It's not that serious. The world's once you graduate high school, and I will generalize here, it seems like everybody's right here. It's you just got to survive. You can fade away. It's not really that extreme. At least not for the culture and the society that I live in Ohio. I'm very
Right.
lucky for everything that we have. But I could play it real safe and just survive, and everyone's like, "Good job, you're killing it." Like, doing something,
You're like,
Like, no, I'm just
no.
doing what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
I try to keep my head in the understanding of what can go on, and then, spice it up a bit when I can.
yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, what else are you gonna do? I'm 29. On the off chance that I live a relatively long life, I have another 50 years. What am I gonna do with all that time? That's a lot of time.
That is a
That
lot
is
of
a
time.
lot of time.
So might as well try to fill it in, do something cool, be a little wily.
Hey, you're here.
That's true.
You're talking to people in France right now.
I know. That's awesome.
My new French fam, parlez-vous, Francie. I don't know how to say anything, but I love you all, and we're coming for you. We're gonna see you. It's gonna be Rebel Sage Perspectives featuring Gabe.
Nice.
That's excellent. Yeah. Perfect. So,
It's just a much more fun way to live life. Not,
yeah.
you can be educated, take things as serious as you can, just acknowledge it, and then go on, do something cool, jump
Yeah.
off a cliff. It only hurts if you belly flop,
Ooh, ouch.
and it actually takes effort to belly flop.
Yeah, I would say so.
So just don't belly flop.
So,
Save
yep.
50% of the trouble.
That's perfect.
Hey, an immediate 50% increase in stocks or anything would go through the roof. That's a huge sale. You could turn your life around with literally that in a day. Boom.
It's true.
Just don't belly flop.
Just don't belly flop. Or shake it off. It'll go away. It ain't gonna be that bad.
I like that red mark that you get though. That kind of red. Yeah.
Everybody laughs. It makes a great video. We're all happier. So we should just say thank you, or we should all belly flop.
Right.
You probably get used to it. It only hurt after the first one.
Yeah, that's probably
Or
true.
How high you jump from.
So,
I wouldn't jump.
I've only done like about a 6-foot board, I think. that hurt. And I had to really try.
Oof.
I really did. On that note.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I will rock climb up a wall. I'll go up a mountain. But if you put me on a diving board, 10 feet up in the air over a pool,
You freeze?
it's weird. It is a totally different like feeling.
Yeah, it wiggles when you walk out there.
Yeah.
Eeh.
I'm worried about hitting my bottom on the bottom of the pool. That's worse. I'm right before them.
Oh, or your bottom on the end of the diving board. Ow.
I don't want to. Yeah, because I'll be featured on America's Funniest Home Videos, and someone will make $100,000 off of me, and I don't even get a shout out.
True.
Come on, man. At least give me my shout out.
Right.
I don't mind.
You get this unlucky guy is what you get.
Right.
Hey, as long as they recognize me on the streets as that unlucky guy, that's an unlucky guy. Hey,
Hey.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Gabe, that is
Mr. Gabe.
yeah, all I've got for you today. And do you want to like plug your Instagram?
I would be honored to. Yeah.
All right.
I'm just Gabriel Goulding, Gabriel Goulding, Facebook, Instagram. That's it. It's me. I'm the only guy that looks like this named Gabriel. So find me on there, send me a message, check out the work. It changes all the time. You'll see a picture of a taco or my dog or me, just kind of bopping around doing stuff. I love doing this. It was an incredible honor just to be able to just connect with, new people on a new year.
Yeah.
I think we've all been kind of longing for some community, and we're all always starting somewhere, right? So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's been really great to talk to you. I like what you're doing. You have a great attitude. It's nice to connect with people who are out there looking at the world through a different lens and taking a different perspective and putting positivity out there. It's
Definitely.
been really nice to meet you, Gabe. Really nice.
Yeah.
It was a genuine pleasure, guys. I hope we can maybe do it again sometime.
Yeah. Thanks for
Absolutely.
joining us.
Anytime.